Recently, there has been a lot of hype and talk about a potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. However, Islam poured cold water on all the rumors, making it clear that he's not returning to lightweight and is focused on winning his second belt. Islam Makhachev dismissed the idea of returning to lightweight for a fight with Ilia Topuria, saying there's nothing appealing about it for him. He questioned what he would gain from the matchup and made it clear that only fans seem excited about the idea. Makhachev added that he has no desire to go through the struggle of cutting weight to 155 pounds again.
Бой с Мадаленой, но все говорят Makhachev Topuria, Topuria Makhachev. Ну не оставляют эту тему. Тебе интересно?
Думаю, да, было бы неплохо. И фанатам интересно, и мне интересно. В первую очередь, потому что об этом бое говорят.
Тебе он интересен бой, потому что о нем говорят, или тебе лично интересен?
Ну, знаешь как, если мне лично, чем он может быть мне интересен? Что я получу, если я на 70 спущусь и выиграю Топурию? Я опять пояс выиграю, у меня есть этот пояс. Людям, в первую очередь, он интересен. Мне не интересно вес гонять 70 килограмм, опять себя мучить. Мне интересно в 77 драться, кушать, радоваться на кемпе и драться.
Islam Makhachev also hinted that he might accept Ilia Topuria's call-out and wanted the fight to take place at the UFC White House card. He believes the matchup would be a massive event for the sport, with both fighters motivated to deliver something special. Makhachev mentioned that if the UFC approves the idea, it could become one of the biggest and most talked about fights in recent memory.
Now I don't know who's gonna be next for Ilia. If we talk about our fights, I have good fights now, and I know he's gonna fight soon, and we'll see what's gonna be happening. You know, he want to fight in White House, and I also want to be there. I think for the it's gonna be like big like for MMA community, it's gonna be big fights. You know? And people want this fight, and if UFC want this fight, and we can do this. I don't know. I know UFC want to do like some big fight in White House. Which fight is gonna be bigger than this?
Islam Makhachev made it clear that he'd rather face Ilia Topuria at welterweight. He explained that returning to lightweight would be tough and would only make sense if Dana White offered him an additional compensation for the weight cut. Makhachev said competing at 170 pounds feels more natural for him and mentioned that after his next training camp, once his body settles from using creatine and protein, he'll know if making 155 again is even possible.
He's talking about you win, he wants to go up to 170. I imagine that's probably where you would want to fight, because you don't want to go back to 155, right? You don't want to have to be sitting there and cutting weight again, right? So you're on board with this idea of 170?
Yeah, if you come, it's gonna be better for me, you know. If I have to cut 155, man, it's gonna be hard, and then I might have to pay for this.
Maybe you would need some time, right? But I guess if after Ramadan you could cut back down to 155, right? Because sometimes when you work hard to put on,
Ramadan will also lose weight. You know, we'll see after the fight when I stop to use the creatine and protein. We'll see how much is my weight.
Ilia Topuria responded to Islam Makhachev's comments by saying he'd also prefer their fight to happen at 170 pounds. When asked whether he'd be willing to face Makhachev at lightweight, Topuria said moving up would be ideal since it gives him the chance to win a third title. He added that beating Islam at welterweight would be the perfect outcome for him.
Earlier today, Islam Makhachev did an interview and said he's not ruling out coming back down to 155, but if it was up to you, would you rather fight him at 170 to get that third title, or would you be willing to fight him at 55 because that's the division that people say he might be the best at?
It would be much better for me to fight him in 170, and I will beat him and get the third title. That will be the best scenario for me.
Islam Makhachev also thinks that Ilia Topuria's fame doesn't come closer to what Conor McGregor had during his rivalry with Khabib Nurmagomedov. He admitted, however, that Topuria is one of the most popular fighters at the moment. Makhachev added that the kind of worldwide attention generated by Khabib and Conor is something the sport might never see again. Islam Makhachev said, "I don't think it's even close, but if you compare interests, he's one of the biggest. If you were to pick someone now, he'd be one of the biggest, In Khabib versus Conor, I don't think it'll happen again. Meanwhile, Henry Cejudo believes Ilia Topuria should defend his featherweight title and face top contenders like Gaethje, Paddy, and Arman before moving up. Kamaru Usman agreed, saying Topuria is chasing big fights rather than staying in one division, and if he beat Islam Makhachev for the welterweight belt, he likely wouldn't remain there. Cejudo added that the UFC wouldn't want that, as it could hurt the division's stability.
I feel like Ilia needs to clear out the division before he decides to go up.
Who else does he need to clear out?
At 55, there's Gaethje, there's Paddy, there's Arman. Look at my title run. Beat Demetrius Johnson. Then I beat TJ Dillashaw on EPO, knocked his ass out. And then I fought Marlon Moraes going up, beat him. And then Dominic Cruz. 3 out of those 4 are future Hall of Famers. If Ilia does come in and fight Islam Makhachev, that just throws everything completely off.
I don't think Ilia is trying to stay. He's chasing a fight. Let's say Islam did get the belt. Ilia came and Ilia took the belt. I don't think he's staying at welterweight.
Will the UFC want that? They don't like it when fighters come in and just take off. It hurts the welterweight division.
Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, broke down Ilia Topuria's fighting style, saying the key is to avoid his boxing range because he has some of the sharpest hands in the sport. Mendez explained that the best approach against Topuria would be to rely on kicks, movement, and clinch work. While he acknowledged that Topuria has solid wrestling and jiu-jitsu, he pointed out that his kicking game is limited and that his grappling still needs to be tested to see how good it truly is.
Ilia Topuria, 1,000,000%. Stay out of boxing range. He's got the best boxing in the business. You need to work your kicks, angles with him, knees. Muay Thai would be a good specialty. Big task is to keep him away from you, and he's got decent wrestling. He's got decent jiu-jitsu also. So he's almost a complete package, but he's not. He lacks the kicking area. And then you have to test your grappling with him to see if yours is better than his. We've yet to see how great it is. It's not great, but we've yet to see how good it really is.
On the other hand, Islam Makhachev joked that if he ever fought his 2015 self, the fight wouldn't last long. When Khabib Nurmagomedov asked how he'd approach that version of himself, Islam laughed and said he'd finish it in the first round with a submission, admitting his younger self wasn't nearly as skilled in the ground.
Если бы тебе пришлось бы драться с самим собой 2015 года, Махачевым, 10 лет назад, сколько? Ну, какой план у тебя был бы против того Ислама Махачева? Тому Исламу сделал бы submission? Я вот и натуре. Disrespect. Точно? Хорошо, я передам ему.
Islam Makhachev spoke about his ambitions, saying his main goal is to secure and defend titles in 2 weight divisions. He wants to be remembered as a double champion in UFC history. Joking about the idea of chasing a 3rd title, Makhachev laughed that he simply couldn't put on that much weight anymore. Islam Makhachev stated, "I dream of becoming and remaining a double champion, of going down in history as someone who has won 2 belts. A 3rd belt? I can't eat that much anymore." Islam Makhachev also opened up about his efforts to build size after moving up in weight, saying he aims to walk around at 87 kilograms and compete closer to 83. He admitted it's been difficult to put on mass and explained that he's using creatine and protein for the first time in his career. Makhachev noted that since adding supplements to his routine, he's noticed faster recovery and feels stronger overall.
I want to walk around 87 kg. Fight week, I want to be like 83. Finally become a little bit big now. Very hard to gain weight. I use like creatine, protein, eat more. First time ever in my life. I use the creatine, source supplements, which I feel something's changing, you know. Recover very fast, gain weight.
Islam Makhachev said that moving up to welterweight has completely changed his life, making training camps much more enjoyable. He explained that when he fought at lightweight, he constantly had to worry about his diet and struggle through weight cuts, and now he can eat freely, stay relaxed, and focus on training. Makhachev added that he feels far happier at 170 pounds compared to the exhausting routine he faced at 155.
My life is changed, you know. When I changed the weight division, my life is changed. Always, like all my life, I have to think what I'm gonna eat, what I have to eat for the dinner, you know. Now I can enjoy my camp, eat like whatever I want, and just smile and training.
Yeah, I mean, are you much happier now than you have been over the last 3 years?
Sure, 100%. You know, last like 155. It's always, I make weight always, but it's so difficult, so hard always.
On the other hand, Conor McGregor shares a bold advice for Jack Della Maddalena ahead of his matchup with Islam Makhachev, claiming that Makhachev will be light work at welterweight. He dismissed Islam's finishing power and ground control, joking that he's a backpack at best. McGregor encouraged JDM to maintain patience, conditioning, and pressure throughout the fight, predicting that with the right strategy, Makhachev won't last the full 5 rounds. Conor McGregor said he will be light work at this weight. No finishing capability or positional awareness whatsoever. He's a backpack at best, nothing to fear. Fear not, patience, fitness, and ferocity, and he is sparked unconscious inside the 5. Meanwhile, Henry Cejudo feels that Islam Makhachev will completely dominate Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322. He questions why anyone believes Jack can compete with Islam, saying Makhachev outclasses him in every area, including fight IQ, controlled stamina, and composure. Cejudo added that he expects nothing less than a one-sided performance from Islam on November 15th.
Explain to me why he's better or why he's going to give Islam a good fight. I just don't see it. Striking, grappling, submissions, takedown defense, takedowns. I see total dominance from my brother, Islam Makhachev.
Kamaru Usman agrees that Islam Makhachev has the upper hand, but doesn't see the fight as an easy one. He points out that Jack Della Maddalena has been improving quickly and has shown impressive resilience in recent bouts. Usman believes the matchup will be competitive, though he adds that if anyone can make it look effortless, it's Islam.
It's not gonna be that easy. Jack has just gotten exponentially better in such a short time. I've watched him in a couple of fights. Spirit was never broke. It's gonna be difficult, but if someone can make it look straight up easy, Islam possesses the skills.
I'm hearing through the grapevines too that Islam Makhachev, he doesn't have that too many fights in his career. Remember, dude, Khabib Nurmagomedov retired young, bro. These guys will follow suit. You know why? They train like freaking maniacs. They train hard, bro. There's something different with Russians. They love leaving on top.
Kamaru Usman says the clash between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena is far more interesting than people think. He highlights Jack's steady progress and gives credit to Islam for his all-around dominance. Usman points out that fans once saw the matchup as a mismatch, but he now feels it could turn into a closely contested and exciting fight.
Islam versus JDM in the MSG. How do you think it will play out?
It's a very, very intriguing fight. JDM is growing at a rapid pace. And we all know what Islam possesses, and we know how good Islam is. So I'm intrigued about that fight. I don't think, because I feel like some people are kind of, initially when that fight was being announced, people were like, oh, this Islam's gonna do this, Islam's gonna take care of him, or JDM's too big. I think now we're starting to understand that fight's gonna be a lot closer than we think.
Demetrius Johnson views Jack Della Maddalena as the dark horse going into his fight with Islam Makhachev, impressed by Jack's sharp technique and recent dominant performances. He mentioned that what many assumed would be a slow tactical bout has the potential to surprise fans with non-stop action. Johnson praised JDM for stepping up against such a dangerous opponent and believes their similar size and skill sets make the matchup unpredictable, one that could either turn into a grappling chess match or an all-out battle.
The beating he put on Bilal Muhammad, being able to finish him and just out jab him. A lot of people said that fight was gonna be boring. It turned out to be a banger fight. For him to take on a guy like Islam Makhachev, not steering away from that challenge. Islam is coming up, so he's gonna be, I feel like comparably size-wise, they're gonna be about even. Islam's super good. JDM's got Craig Jones in the camp to, battle.
And
Volkanovski to battle that, Dagestan wrestling. It's gonna be, it could be two things. It could be a very, very boring fight, or it could be a very, very exciting fight. Meaning by the way it could be boring is if Islam's able to take down JDM and get his back, hold him there, out grapple him, stop,
Demetrius Johnson broke down the matchup, saying it could slow down if Islam Makhachev manages to ground Jack Della Maddalena and maintain control from the back. Still, he praised Jack's ability to avoid staying stuck in bad spots, referencing his fights with Gilbert Burns, where he constantly created scrambles and fought his way back up. Johnson admired JDM's takedown defense and relentless tempo, describing the bout as a rare meeting between the top fighter at lightweight and the top at welterweight.
He could potentially do that. But the one thing I love about JDM when he fights is he never accepted position. When he was fighting Gilbert Burns, great grappler, takes him down. Right when he gets up, he throws that knee into the void. Gilbert Burns ducks down into it. He runs into it. JDM doesn't accept the position when he gets taken down. He's always looking to grapple, always look at the anti-wrestle. That's what makes this fight exciting. And he's got some fucking good hands. He's not the way his boxing is, he's very tight. I'm excited for that fight just because we're seeing the best at 155 take on the best at 170. It's very rare when the moons align. Same thing at the co-main event. Shevchenko taking on Wei Li.
Let me have a turn in the main event.
Okay. On the other hand, Mario Batista hopes Jack Della Maddalena pulls off the upset against Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. He admits his support leans toward Jack, saying it's only a matter of time before someone hands a loss to one of the Dagestani fighters. Batista believes Jack could be the one to make it happen, though he's interested to see how much size Islam carries at welterweight.
Islam Makhachev versus Jack Maddalena, who you got, Mario?
I'm gonna go with Jack on that one. Someone has to beat one of those guys.
God. Are you taking Jack?
What's
he takes him out?
My heart says I want to go with Jack, but
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how Islam, like, is he going to be like just bigger and stronger at 170? And it probably cuts a lot to 55. I'm hoping Jack.
George Masvidal considers Islam Makhachev the most dominant grappler in modern MMA. He said that once Islam brings a fight to the ground, his control and submission ability becomes nearly impossible to counter. Masvidal also pointed out how Makhachev's ground and pound adds another dangerous layer to his game, citing his dominant victory over Charles Oliveira as proof of just how overwhelming he can be on the mat.
Islam Makhachev and Jack Magdalena.
I got Islam.
Islam. It's a good fight.
Yeah,
it's a good ass fight.
I think that's a really good fight for Islam. Islam's top control is different than Bilal. Like Islam.
Oh yeah,
Islam,
no, that 100%. I think he's the best guy on the ground, on the mat. Once it hits the mat, now nobody else has better ground control, submissions, just everything. On the ground, he's a real life nightmare. Strikes as well. He does damage. I would easily say Makhachev is the best ground fighter right now, you know, especially after what he did to Charles Oliveira. You know, what he's done to so many guys is crazy.
George Masvidal wondered how Islam Makhachev would handle Jack Della Maddalena's size, athleticism, and defensive wrestling. He noted that Jack has shown impressive takedown defense in past fights, but acknowledged that Islam's technique and judo sweeps give him a different edge. Masvidal said an early takedown could allow Makhachev to dominate and drain Jack's energy, though he also recognized Jack as a dangerous opponent with exceptional striking, fluid movement, and some of the sharpest boxing in the UFC.
Is he going to be able to deal with the size and the defensive athleticism wrestling of Jack? Because Jack could wrestle pretty damn good defensively, you know, and he showed out against Bilal. Bilal, I know, is not Islam with the technical savviness, especially up against the cage, because I feel like Islam has several degrees with his foot sweeps, his judo, a lot of the things that he does, like really, really slick, you know. So it could be early on in the fight. Islam could get you down and get you tired early, you know. He's very, very good at doing that. But that being said, I think Jack is a threat he's never faced before. I think Jack, and to be honest with you, Jack has some of the best hands right now in the UFC. Bar none. Like, I could see this guy throwing hands with anybody. He's not gonna have a problem. The way he switches stance, it's like he's a Terrence Crawford, man.
And that wraps up today's video. We hope you've enjoyed it. Share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to our channel to get more updates about upcoming UFC encounters.